What a time was had in Texas. So much fun. It seems like it happened too fast is what I think. It was a busy show, a great show, a lot of fun, great experience. We'll talk about it, and we'll hear from some of those that were in attendance here on episode 151 of Coast to Coast Pinball. Let's go. Welcome to Coast to Coast Pinball. My name is Nate Shivers. This is my podcast. It's my commentary. And I am the man out of quarters. Welcome. Thanks for listening. Episode 151. Here we are. This is the wrap-up post-Texas Pinball Festival show. So when we last left off, I think I was letting you know that I had put up quite a nice score on Friday in the EM, the vintage tournament at the Texas Pinball Festival, and had also played in the Tilt Bank, and those are two of the 5 banks of the tournaments, and we'll get more into the tournament scene at the Texas Pinball Festival as we go, but I'll complete my story. The way you qualified in this tournament was you either finished in the top 5 of any of these banks in scoring for Friday or Saturday, that got you into the finals, or they took the next 30 combined scores between Friday and Saturday, so you needed to have decent scores both days to win an at-large bid for the finals. I actually finished with the top at-large bid because I had my 6th place score from Friday, and then Saturday I ran right in, played each game once. I think I played a couple games twice maybe, just to try and better myself a little bit, and I had some entries left later. And I think I was in like 12th place or something for Saturday's qualifying in the vintage, and that got me 11th place in qualifying, so I didn't have to start playing in the finals till the 4th round. It was sort of a complex system. I did not care for the tournament structure much at all. It was sort of, it was an interesting thing because if you qualified lower, you could actually lose in an early round and be jumped down into the B or C division, and thus having a double elimination feel to your tournament, whereas this guy, me, I won my first round game, and then I lost my second round game, and it was single elimination, goodbye, thanks for playing. So I guess you would say I finished somewhere between 9th and 16th, because when I lost, we were in the round of 16 in the quote A division of the vintage games. Just to give you the rundown on how it worked, I was 11th, so I got to choose game or position in my first round match against a gentleman from the 403 Pinball Club, I want to say, from, is that Kansas City? I believe Kansas City? St. Louis or Kansas City, somewhere, sorry. And I chose position because on these old EM games, I got to tell you, I didn't feel super comfortable on any of them. There were none of them where I thought, oh yeah, that's the game, that's mine. And I thought it would be more advantageous to myself to let the other player put up some sort of score and have to go chasing him. And when I said I would choose position, he instantly, without even thinking, said, okay, we're playing Capersville. Now, I don't know if you know the game Capersville. Old game. Interesting game. I need to actually pull it up so I can look at it. Capersville Pinball. So we're going to look at this game as we talk about it. This may be one of the most bizarre games of this era. It's a game, built by Bally in 1966. And it has a weird multi-ball structure where it has 2 little saucer, catches up in the top area where you can lock balls, and then you release them by hitting this little mushroom bumper, this white mushroom bumper. Now it has the small flippers, but it does the zipper flipper thing where they can close in. The flippers can close into each other, and you cause that by hitting this red little mushroom bumper. It's not like a pop bumper exactly, but it's like a mushroom cap thing. So you close the flipper zipper deal with the red, and then you accidentally will open it right back up, oftentimes by hitting one of the 3 yellow mushroom caps. That's about all I knew of the game. I noticed there was a 100-point rollover in between the 2 lock spots. I had put up fairly decent scores on this through mostly dumb luck. The outlanes are brutal. There's no in lanes. It's just simply big, wide open outlanes with these really wide slingshots. Think kind of Space Station like, but then with tiny little 2-inch flippers, and really a interesting game that I didn't fully understand the rules to. So when he quickly said, "I'll take Capersville," I was not feeling good about my first round chances. He drained instantly on ball 1, which made me feel a little bit better. I don't know this guy. He was real nice, super friendly. But here's what happened that was sort of interesting. Is you can lock these balls, and you can steal the ball locks. You can steal those locked balls. So if you're player 1 and you lock a ball and you drain, player 2 now has a ball locked. And there was debate throughout the weekend on Capersville if that was to your advantage or not as second player. I clearly thought it was to your advantage, because all you had to do was then get over to that white mushroom bumper little knob thing, and you're in multi-ball. Now, granted, multi-ball in this game lasted usually all of about 5 seconds, because this is a very drainy game, but still an advantage. Some people argue, no, you score all these points by locking the balls. Well, I proved that to be not true, because I locked 2 balls with 2 plunges and had 0 points on the score reel. So ball 1 went by, and I think I was up like something really dumb, like 200 to 140 after ball 1. Ball 2, you know what I did? On my first ball, I locked 2 balls right off the bat. I looked like I really knew what I was doing, because I plunged into both locks. It was brilliant. And then I drained with 2 balls locked and thought, oh, great, look what I did. Well, my opponent did not have that good of a second ball, and as he drained, he shook the machine very, very violently. And not just tilting it, but also knocking both balls out of both locks. Which I didn't think much of, to be quite honest, other than, wow, like he really shook that machine. And I said, I kind of joked to him. I said, "Oh, all the work I did and left you." And he goes, "Oh, did I tilt those balls out?" And then I was like, well, that was awfully weird the way he said that to me. Interesting. Whatever. So we went on. And as the match went on, when we got to ball 4, after my ball on ball 4, I was up by about 500. And I had left 1 ball locked. On his ball 5, he locked his second ball, and I thought, oh boy, if he hits multi-ball, I'm done for. Well, he didn't. He drained again. And as he drained, he tilted both balls out again. He did it again. So left me no balls. So this was either really good timing or pretty good strategy on his part. So I got to ball 5, and I looked up, and I was 45 points down. And I plunged as delicately as I could, and my ball plunged right through the 100-point little score thing, thus ending the game. Now, I'm an idiot and thought we were on ball 4 at this point, and he was like, "Hey, good job, man." And I was like, What? And I realized, oh, I'm done here. It's over. I won his first round. So that was cool. Shook hands with him. Nice guy, whatever. He asked me where I was from, asked me how the scene was, whatever. So somebody watching this all go down, friendly listener of the show, came up to me and said, "Are you like really mad about that or what?" And I said, "No, dude, I just won." He goes, "Yeah, but he like tilted those balls out twice." And I was like, oh. I was like, "You think he did that on purpose?" And the guy just laughed. He goes, "Yeah, of course he did that on purpose." And I was thinking, hey, man, that's great strategy. And the person who brought this to my attention was like, "No, man, that's lame." So I don't even know what to think of it, because at the end of the day, I won, so whatever. So I got to my second game, and I was paired up against a guy who'd actually been a scorer in the tournament on game 1, and younger. I don't want to use the word kid, because he was probably 20 to 25 years old. Probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in pinball. He was so incredibly nice, and I think his dad was playing in the tournament too. And he said to me, he was ranked 10th. He was the 10th ranked qualifying. I was 11th. So he said, "Are there any of these games that you really feel great about?" And I thought, is he trying to trick me here? Or, because he's like, "Because we can play whatever game you really want." And I was like, "No, dude, it's your choice. Like, go ahead. Pick the game, because I'm going to pick position." And he goes, "Well, what game do you want to play?" And in my head, I'm like, let's play Grand Prix. I want to play Grand Prix, because I'd put up the second best score of the day on Saturday on Grand Prix. And he's like, no, what game? And he kept asking me, and I was like, dude, I don't know. What do you want to play? And he goes, well, I'm thinking maybe Capersville. And I'm like, why does everyone want to play Capersville? And I said, oh, I just played it. And he goes, how'd you do? And I'm like, well, I won. He goes, oh, we shouldn't play Capersville then. And I'm like, okay, I'm confused. He was confusing me. I didn't know if he was trying to, like, get me or not get me or what was going on. But he took so long that the way this tournament was being run, sort of, I think, was that in each round you just had to take what was left. And we were actually supposed to have already picked a game, but we waited so long everyone else picked games, and all that was left was Capersville. So I'll spare you the details, but I lost by less than 70 points on Capersville. I should have won. I had it. I was down by over 1,000, which is a lot on this game going into ball 5. So I was playing second. I got multi-ball going, and I missed by 70 points, and I was out. But I had a great time. I had a lot of fun. And I had so much fun. Actually, I really enjoy playing classic and EM-type games in tournaments because it adds a little bit of like randomness where I feel like even if you have more skill than me, I might have a shot here. And I think that's a pretty widely held thought by many players who are not the top elite players in the world. So, since the tournament, you will see posts on Pinside about problems with the tournaments at the Texas Pinball Festival. And I will only say this right now because we'll talk more about it later on a future show. But I'll just say this. The Texas Pinball Festival is really a fantastic event. It runs so incredibly smoothly. It is so pro. It is so fun, and just the people running it, the people displaying at it, the atmosphere could not be better. That when something does possibly fall short, like I believe the tournaments sort of did this year, it will get extra scrutiny because it's sort of like, if you're at the Super Bowl and maybe you had a bad vendor, that guy's going to get all the heat because it's the Super Bowl. And as far as pinball shows go out there, you could definitely argue that Texas having, one of the largest selections in one of the nicest venues that's a smoothly run, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is sort of one of, obviously it's one of the premier shows. The tournament had some issues, and they've had issues in the past. And this year, I think that the number one issue for these tournaments was the gentleman running it. And these guys were doing a pretty good job keeping up and working hard. I saw them the whole time, Marcus and I believe Robert. Really nice guys. I think that in a moment of trying to get all the IFPA Whopper points that they could for these tournaments and make them as attractive as they could to players for points, they diluted down the event overall and made the event sort of clustered and not run smoothly, to the point where the finals for some of these tournaments were starting hours late, getting delayed till Sunday morning instead of Saturday night. And I talked to a couple people who had specifically played certain banks of the 5 tournaments because the finals were not Sunday and they were leaving Sunday morning. So they literally spent, one guy told me he spent $220 on one bank, which is a lot at $2.50 a game, $2.50 a game if you're buying them in pairs. But that's what he did because you needed to often play both days to qualify, and then he had a flight out at 9 a.m. Sunday morning, and I believe the finals were pushed back from Saturday night to Sunday morning. So that's not good. That's bad when someone can feel literally like they just wasted their money. So I won't dive too deep into it right now because I think it's pretty well documented, some of the issues. They're very aware of it. I talked to Ed from Texas Pinball Festival a little bit about it. They know there were some issues. I think that we're at the very early stages of the Whopper 5.0 point system, and Josh Sharp will be back on the show, I believe, this week, and we'll dive into this deeper. But I think that there's this feeling out period where tournament directors are scrambling, trying to get all the points they can, when at the end of the day, if your tournament isn't really well run, you're not going to get all those players anyway. Now, Texas has the players just there because of the attendance, but if you want to have a world-class tournament, it needs to run smoother, and it shouldn't be 5 banks. That's just simply too many. And there needs to be a better use of signage and probably explanations of how the actual tournament runs, because it took me a while to figure it all out. And I know a lot of people I talked to had no idea and were very frustrated. I had people trying to give me tournament entry tickets that they'd paid cash for because they weren't going to play, and that's too bad. So we'll get more into that. later in the week when Josh is on and dive deep into that. But the fact of the matter is, it wouldn't bother people as much as it does on these tournaments having some issues if people didn't enjoy them so much. It's one of those things where this is so awesome, but it's getting messed up here. It's tough. It's tough. So it can be a lot better, and I have no doubt that it will be. Just to kind of wrap up some of the things that were happening at the Texas Pinball Festival, and I touched on some of these in episode 149, Spooky Pinball ended up selling over 20 America's Most Haunted games at the Texas Pinball Festival. That's amazing. I think there's a snowball effect happening as people saw all these people buying the game. Pinside was talking about it. People started thinking, oh my gosh, we got to get this now, which is exactly why the 150 build limit on the game was put in place to do that. So there you go. Looking forward to game number 2 and the announcement that will come in weeks or months out of Spooky. I think they're going to do very well. It was a great showing for Spooky Pinball LLC and America's Most Haunted at the Texas Pinball Festival. Okay, also, I got to go to I wouldn't call it a private thing, but it was a semi-private, invitation-only meeting with Multimorphic Pinball and the Lexi Lightspeed Escape from Earth, I believe is the new title. They've changed the game a little bit, which it took me a while to realize that the game's actually changed, and there's a storyline involved in the Lexi Lightspeed game that's on the P3 platform for Multimorphic, which is really good. It's all a plus. It's a good thing. But I got to go to this meeting where we actually saw the game completely disassembled, because this is a modular game where you can pull the playfield, swap the back third, have a new game, and go type of system. So you're buying a game platform that multiple games can be put into. And Jerry got to have sort of an invite-only small room with a small crowd of, I guess it was pinball, quote, I really feign calling myself a journalist, but people in the pinball media, a few podcasters, some website folks, some magazine type folks, some people who talk and write about pinball. Also, some, I believe, operators were in there, people who might be early adopters to the game. Also, some game designers were in the room. I saw 2 of the biggest game designers who don't currently work for a big company based near Chicago were both in the room. And they went through the game, and they talked about some of the things that are patented on the game. We got to see some stuff that hasn't been seen by the public before as far as how it's built and how it all works. They took the game completely apart and put it all back together and had a nice conversation about it. And it's impressive. It's incredibly impressive. And there were some, things explored in discussion about P3 and Multimorphic that I will not jump right into now, but I think we need to have Jerry on as more of this, becomes better, developed and more well known. And, they're in an interesting situation as a company because they have a product that I don't think they can just go run out and build a bunch of right now and sell them to you. I think there needs to be that next step of maybe a partner to build or some money to come in. And I'm not speaking for them. I'm just sort of figuring, what I've witnessed. But the game development of the first game of Lexi Lightspeed has sure come a long way. And it's in a much better state than it was. I think it's a more immersive game, certainly, and you feel like you're playing a pinball machine that is, in the modern world. It's a new place for pinball. So I definitely wanted to thank Jerry for the invite on that, and Jerry has an open invitation to do this show. We're just sort of waiting for the right time, and that will happen soon enough. As far as other things I saw some really cool projects. The acrylic EM game that won Best in Show was absolutely beautiful. I totally forget what the game was right now, but it was a complete stunner. I'm trying to find out what it was right now because I don't remember. I saw a Goonies pinball machine that was, very, very interesting. It was a home project built game. I saw a Spinal Tap machine that was not working when I was there, but another home project. There wasn't as much of that as I think I sort of expected to see. This show is very much about people's home collections and fantastic games in really good condition. That's something I heard over and over again from different people was, boy, these games are in immaculate shape and in really good condition. So that's cool. Overall, just a really fun time. I played The Hobbit a few times. I'm way, way happier with that game than I was 6 months ago. I think I said that on 149. Played Medieval Madness Remake. A couple friends of the show beat me on Medieval Madness Remake. Gameplay's great. Gameplay's like a Medieval Madness to me. I want one. I just don't want to spend the money on one. So that's the conundrum on that game for sure. I saw lots of other fun little toys and vendors. Pinball side mirrors were really cool. Some of the topper, I got to see the laserific topper for America's Most Haunted in person. That was neat. I'm probably forgetting about 5 other things. I don't have my notes in front of me. But I saw the fun pinball auction, which, sitting in that room, some of the games that were being sold, and this is like, loud Barker auction style, 1500, you get 1500, 1550, I won't, sorry, I'll spare you on that. You know what I'm saying? It's that sort of, live auction situation. And I saw some games go really high, what I thought price-wise, that did not meet their reserves and did not sell. And then a few games, like I think there was an X-Men limited edition. They got to a price that I thought was actually a pretty good price. Like, I'm like, oh, that's not bad. That's a good deal for somebody to come to the show and get a pretty nice Magneto edition. I think it was like $3,900. But then you add on a 10% buyer's fee and sales tax and a fee for this, fee for that. And it ends up just kind of being what they sell for out in the world. So those auctions are tricky because you got to decide fast when you're in the room. And I didn't see a lot of really great deals happening. I'm not sold on that as a great way to buy a machine unless you're just really looking for one specific title. Although having all the games out on the floor and being able to play all of them is nice, because then you can go in actually having played the game and know what you're getting into. Because in the auction, if you haven't been to one of these, the way these run especially is just, it's a big screen with a projector and they show the game, they read out the number, and you can have a list that you're looking at, and then they go. So it's fun to watch, for sure. So what we're going to do now is I did some audio hits from the show floor, which, I try and just pick some random people and to get a feel for what's going on at the show. So we're going to talk to some different folks that were hanging out at the Texas Pinball Festival, either displaying or just there doing their thing. I want to thank all of them for coming on the show. I'll just kind of mix these all together, and you can listen to this on the way out. I can tell you later in the week we've got some very special guests lined up, and I'm excited for that. And so I'm missing a ton of news. I'm missing a ton of emails. I got so many great emails. Thank you to everybody that came up and said hi to me, and it means a ton that people are listening to the show and, telling me that they're enjoying the show. I had some really just heartfelt things said to me that, make it all worth its while. I'll put it that way. Mistake I made was not bringing T-shirts. I'm low on T-shirts with this new design. It sold very well, so I didn't want to bring this scattered collection of what I have left. I have another run ordered, and I should have brought shirts, because I could have sold a lot of shirts at Texas. I could have paid for my barbecue, but that's okay. So anyway, here we go on some live audio, or excuse me, not live audio, of some happenings from the Texas Pinball Festival 2015. I am here in the Spooky Pinball booth at the Texas Pinball Festival with Charlie from Spooky Pinball. How are you, sir?
I'm not allowed to speak to you. I'm afraid you're going to say something controversial and hurt me.
Yeah, probably about backslashes or breasts, right?
Oh, yeah, that'll be on the Spooky Pinball podcast. We're going to have a very big debate between Ben Heck and Nate from Coast to Coast about boobs.
So, you're selling some games at this show, I hear.
This is our first trip to Texas. I can tell you for sure we will be back here next year. It has been phenomenal. Yeah, we've sold more than 10 games, and for us, that is a massive number.
I think on last night's episode, I said I think they sold like 3 or 4 games, and I was wrong. That's awesome. Congratulations. I did say there's America's Most Haunted sort of everywhere at this show. I feel like every corner of this room has a game somewhere.
Well, and a lot of that's thanks to Ed Vanderveen from the Texas Pinball Festival. They actually bought a game to use in the tournament. How'd you do in the tournament, by the way?
It's a work in progress.
So yeah, and we've got one here in our booth. And also the guy that does the mirror blades, Min Blades.
Yeah. That
thing is phenomenal. He's got a completely custom America's Most Haunted, bought a brand new game and did a whole bunch of tricking out to it. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, for us, this is huge. This is as much presence as we can handle.
I love it. So how many games are, roughly how many spots are left, or at least a time frame, and when do you see it being closed door, no more, you can't get America's Most Haunted?
Well, we are stopping at 150.
Yep.
There will be no vault editions from the crypt. Coming down here, we were discussing setting up on the website, putting a countdown clock, saying, okay, 100 games sold, 101, 102, there's somebody left. Right now, we're actually discussing we might leave here and have to lock sales so we can get some to Australia, because I promised everybody down there we'd at least have some available. Right now, we're at 118 out of 150, and the emails are piling up in Katie's computer, so she's trying hard to answer people because I guess it's getting out or whatever, that it is getting closer. So,
how are you balancing the influx of orders over the past few weeks with building the games?
Just hired another full-time physician cabinet guy. When I get back, I'm probably going to have to hire another full-time basic assembly person, somebody that puts together the elevators and just the little things that we have to do every day. But yeah, and it's always been the case with us. And I've said this 100. This is my half mile of wire line. We can't build faster than we sell or sell faster than we build, because I don't want to be laying off good people. So we're trying to keep that at a steady pace, but right now we're behind and I need to hire more people, and that's a good problem.
So if we ordered a game from you right now, what's the time frame?
My best guess right now is 4 to 5 months. I want that down to at least 90 days. So I've got some work to do, and that's on me. That's on me, I know that. That's my Walking Dead impression.
That's pretty good, that's pretty good. Coral. Yeah. Well, fantastic. Well, I just wanted to stop in, say hello. I'm proud of you guys. It's amazing to watch. I said this on the show last night, that at Midwest last year, you were like anxiously excited, and now I see you as sort of like shoulders back a little bit, like, man, I'm selling a lot of pinball machines.
I can breathe now. Yes, my house isn't going anywhere. This is a good time for us. The support and from you has been overwhelming. All the little videos and stuff you're throwing out on Facebook, and I listen to your podcast all the time. Honestly, I don't listen to mine. I listen to yours.
I listen to yours.
And oh God, why would you do such a thing to yourself?
It's great. It's great.
It's great. There's a lot of people down here talking to me about the podcast too, and that always shocks me, because honestly, I see you and the Game Room guy, Game Room Junkies. I see you guys as like the news guys, and you can actually talk about stuff without worrying about what you say, and I always kind of sugarcoat everything, because that's my nature. I'm nice.
You're a nice guy.
If I don't have something nice to say, except for about boobs, I'll defend boobs.
Well, I'll say all the mean things.
You were wrong there.
I know. Everyone seems to think so. Not everyone. But anyway, awesome. Well, thank you. I'll let you get back to selling games, selling T-shirts, giving away coaster cozies or whatever those are.
Koozies and keychains.
Koozies and keychains. It's fantastic. Yeah. I think that maybe the Texas Pinball Festival logo shouldn't have been Attack from Mars. Maybe it should have been some ghosts.
America's Most Haunted.
America's Most Haunted. Looking forward to this year. This is the year of America's Most Haunted, I think.
I actually grabbed our buddy Greg Ferreras from Stern and hauled him into the Mirror Blades booth to show him the custom AMH. Just because, to me, when I saw that thing, it felt like we're really in pinball now.
Yeah.
People are doing crazy stuff to our games and enjoying it, and to me, that's worth everything. I still take everything, one day at a time, and every little treat, reward, thing like that comes our way. I appreciate it so much, and people have been unbelievably kind.
Awesome. Well, you deserve it. Have a good rest of your show, and have a safe drive back to Benton.
Yeah, there's 15 hours of no sleep in 2 days. Okay.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Here we are at the Texas Pinball Festival 2015. I'm with Jonathan Houston of Pinball Magazine. How are you, sir?
Well, besides me with hardly having any voice left, I'm pretty okay.
You sound like €1,000,000 to me.
I wish I had it.
I know, right? You don't have €1,000,000 off of the magazine yet?
No. I wish.
Okay, so I have to ask, when do we see issue number 3?
Okay, I'll show you something.
He's going to show me something. This will be great for a podcast. Ooh, I'm holding in my hand what looks like the rough draft or maybe the final draft of Pinball Magazine number 3.
Okay, so what you have in your hands is a 50% edited copy of the cover story of Pinball Magazine number 3 and 4.
3 and 4?
Yes.
So it's going to be a double issue?
No, it's going to be 2. It's so much content. I mean, this is like 182 pages.
So the cover story, are we allowed to spill that, or is that secret right now?
No, I guess spill that. Python Angelo.
Python Angelo.
Yeah.
What was it like doing a really in-depth story, a feature piece on Python's life?
A nightmare.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, Python is he's a great guy, but he makes it very difficult for people to work with him.
Yeah.
Or he used to, when obviously he's no longer around, and which is a pity. But I spent 14 days in total in 2013 with him working on this article, and he expected it to be ready like the next day.
Well, we did too. I'm waiting.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. You know, your magazine is so high quality and so beautiful. I think us as these, big pinhead geeks like we are, wish we could have a new one all the time, because we get it and we just read through it. I've read mine, both issues, at least 2 times all the way through. So you've created something that we all really appreciate, and for that we definitely thank you.
I appreciate that people appreciate what I do.
How many hours a week are you putting into Pinball Magazine right now?
It depends a little bit. It's going to be more right now. I probably shouldn't be saying this on air, but the first 2 issues, both I finished when I was sort of on a break with my girlfriend.
Oh, yes.
We're on a new break.
Oh no, a new break. It's an opportunity.
No, I mean that as a good thing for the magazine, because it means I have more time to put in the magazine.
You also...
Not anything negative about my former girlfriend, else she wouldn't be my girlfriend, But
if she was that great, you'd still be with her, right?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
We're still talking, and
it's Loveline here. It's Loveline, Coast to Coast. Loveline.
Yeah. So
I got no advice.
Oh, I don't need advice. I'm happy with the situation. I'm happy that I have more time available now to put into the magazine, because I really want to finish this thing.
Selfishly, I am happy too.
And no, I think it's okay.
Also, at your booth here at the Texas Pinball Festival, we have the beautiful coffee table book, Pinball. It's just called Pinball?
Yeah, by Santiago Chufo.
Beautiful book. These are still available to purchase, correct?
Yes.
How much is the book?
I have a special show price, which I'm not going to mention on the podcast because then everybody wants it. But I will say this, due to the strong dollar compared to the euro, and me being based in Europe.
Yep.
So I adjust the pricing in my web shop according to the dollar-euro rate.
So would now be a good time to buy the book?
You'll get it cheaper than anywhere else right now. And I didn't price it down. I'm still getting the same amount of money in euros.
But the dollar's just strong against it.
The dollar is so strong that the book is now really, really, I think at the web shop it's like $35, I think, plus shipping.
You know what the Texans here would say about that, right?
I have no idea
It's America. He's just staring at me blankly. Sorry. It's early and I got a lot of caffeine in my system going, okay, awesome. This is beautiful stuff. I want everyone to buy the book. I want everyone to subscribe and get Pinball Magazine.
Tell me, what have you seen at the show so far that you've been impressed by, or been struck by, or been maybe not impressed by?
This is absolutely a fantastic show.
This is not your first time here, is it?
This is my first time
First
here.
time here in Texas.
Yeah.
It's a big show, isn't it?
It's a very big show. This is probably in number of games the largest show I've been to.
Yeah.
Previously there was a European show, FestiFlip in France, which I can highly recommend if you ever come over.
I would love to.
But here you got like 400 plus games set up in a huge area. It's not cramped in.
Massive, with high ceilings and air conditioning, and
every vendor got enough space to do his stuff. You know?
Yeah.
I was really amazed with the quality of the games.
Yes.
Every game I played so far was really good, taken care of, was playing well.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not like, even the games in the auction, it's not like you're buying a bunch of junk games. No, they're really nice playing games.
Absolutely. They're fixed up, they're restored. Did you get a chance to play any of the newer games, like Woe Nelly or The Hobbit or anything?
Not yet.
You going to go do that? You excited about that?
I was excited. Well, I've been rooting for Stern to produce Woe Nelly for a long time. Even in Pinball Magazine number 2, I was already hinting that Stern would do that. I'm happy that they are, but as with a few other people, I'm not so happy with the price point.
I may have heard that a few times.
And I understand. Sure, I understand that there is a lot of development costs in this new game. It's a new product, so they need to invent everything from scratch. It's a new cabinet. They got the new system. They need to include these reels, all that kind of stuff. There's a new type of display that they need to work with. I understand all that. But then still, I would have liked to seen it as a game that would have been available under $4,000.
Sure. Let me ask you this. Doing a magazine like yours that's sort of, it's not on a time schedule, you're not locked into a certain amount of time, do you feel the need to cover happenings in the pinball industry in the magazine, or are you really looking to do more of the historical / update kind of lifestyle type articles?
Well, to cover events like this, Martin Ayep is doing an excellent job, and I couldn't beat him at it.
Fantastic job.
So I would, what I will be doing is I will be writing a report. Usually when I go to shows like this, I do a show report.
You do a really good show on your website.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. Is that pinballmagazine.com or co.uk?
Pinball-magazine.com.
There you go.
Apparently there's there's currently an issue with my web hosting company, so I might be switching web hosting companies.
Gotcha.
I will be doing, I can tell you this right now, I am working on a special of Woe Nelly. I'm talking with Greg. I hope to talk to Dennis as well. I hope to talk to a few people at Stern. So there will be like a new downloadable magazine for free on the website.
I like that.
Which will mainly be about Woe Nelly, and I'm figuring I don't have Wi-Fi or internet over here, so I might as well include my show report in there as well.
Absolutely. Do you see this gentleman in front of your booth? He has a coin slot belt buckle.
Wow.
Hey, Mr. Josh with the coin slot belt buckle. Has anybody tried to put a coin in that this weekend?
I just walked in. Day's still early.
Day's still early. All right. Be careful. Thank you, sir. So anyway, Jonathan, I'm going to let you go. I really thank you for coming on for a few minutes here and talking. And we look forward to issue number 3 and issue number 4. Everyone go to the website, pinball-magazine.com. Buy the book, Pinball by Santiago Chufo. And, let's talk again real soon.
I hope so.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope, really.
It took us a while. We've been trying to do this for a year.
Yeah. We met in Seattle already. That was like high on the escalator. Yeah, that was it.
It was like 2 pinball geeks passing in the night as we...
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. All right, thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
I would like to welcome to Coast to Coast Pinball, Mr. John Greatwich of Great Pinball Limited, which we can see at greatpinball.com, correct?
That is correct.
He told me that right before we started recording. That's how I know that. John, tell me about what you've got here. You're sort of sharing some booth space with Jonathan. I see this beautiful, what looks to me brand new Stargazer playfield here, and I'm being told that is your handiwork.
That's correct. I've been doing restorations for about 8 years, and the last 2 years I started making brand new playfields right from the get-go.
Where are you based out of?
Out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, same as Classic Playfield Reproductions.
That's what I was wondering. What got you into this 8 years ago? The hobby wasn't exactly booming 8 years ago, but there was some restore going on. Were you just a pinball fan and a pinball player, and you decided to do this?
I was always a pinball player growing up. So my high school years, I'm 50, so the Valley Classics were always my favorite, 78 to 82. And when I started off, about 16 years ago, I started buying games from our biggest warehouse operator. Used to buy them in bulk and fix them up, so I probably went through maybe 200 or 300 games over the years.
Now, is this a reprinted playfield completely, or is that a retouched up and re-clear coated playfield?
No, this is a brand new playfield on Baltic birch with hard maple, and it's still brand new UV ink flatbed production on an Osei, the same as my back glass work.
You have a Cubert's Quest back glass here. Why Cubert's Quest?
That's just the latest one, so it still hasn't been fully approved by Gottlieb LLC or Steve Young, so when I get back this spring, they'll get a sample and we'll see where it goes from there.
How does the approval process work for you, getting something like Stargazer approved to be able to sell that commercially?
A lot of the old Stern stuff, there's really no licensing involved. So I think Gary's ex-wife had the licensing and she doesn't enforce it, doesn't want to get involved. So it's pretty well open. The Gottlieb, you have to go through licensing, same as Bally Williams through Planetary Pinball.
Are you doing Bally Williams playfields as well?
Not at this time. I do restorations, so I am licensed through Planetary Pinball, so that might get into playfields down the road.
How's business right now?
Really slow.
Is it really slow?
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to?
Just the economy and just the flood of all kinds of new products that are out there. Like, there's a lot of new stuff the last 10, 15 years that we never saw before.
I was talking about that with somebody else who sells old games that they fix up, and he said the same thing. He said it's slow, even though we're in this big boom where everyone's going to shows and playing pinball. But for him, his business was the old games. And with Stern releasing games that people are interested in, and smaller companies coming out, taking up money, it is kind of different for the guys working on restoring in older games right now. That's kind of what you're seeing, huh?
Yeah, especially on the older stuff. Like years ago, you'd be able to buy games reasonably cheap. Now the market's all dried up. People see eBay and other people selling games and the Pawn Stars and everything else with outrageous pricing, and they figure they got a gold mine when in fact it's just a cheap ass game.
Well, I got to say, that Stargazer playfield is beautiful. That's like artwork. I would hang that on my wall. I would put that in my old Stargazer pinball machine that I don't own, so I can't do that. But if I did, that would be my new playfield. And I really appreciate you spending a couple minutes with me. And welcome to... Is this your first time to Texas?
No, I come every year.
Every year.
I've got a brother in Austin, so I usually do Expo and I do Texas Pinball Festival.
What do you think of this show?
This is probably one of the better shows for playing games. The quality is much better because people take pride in ownership.
They really do, and it's a spacious, nice environment, too.
It is. And the weather's nice.
The weather is nice, isn't it? Probably a little bit better than Halifax.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've been to Halifax. It was cold.
I left and they were getting another foot of snow.
Ouch. Ouch. Well, John, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're hanging out in the canopy that is the Fun Amusements booth at the Texas Pinball Festival with man on the street, man on the floor, Pinsider extraordinaire, Mr. Jared, formerly Bakushan.
Yeah, but now Jared.
Now just Jared.
Yes.
How's the show going for you? This is like your local show, right?
Yeah. So for me, I get to cheat. This is like a 30-minute drive from my house, so I'm right down the street from it. This is my local show. I wouldn't miss it. It's fantastic. This is the biggest it's ever been, and it was already huge.
It is huge. Did you bring games again this year?
Yeah, I did. Last year I brought, I don't know, like 8 or 10 games.
A ton. You had one of the prettiest judge
I
dreads
brought
I've
all
ever
of them.
seen. I saw
Thank
that
you.
last year.
Thank you. But this year I brought, I have a beautiful home-use Jurassic Park, the second owner on it, which like doesn't happen.
No.
And then I got a Simpsons Pinball Party. So I brought a couple of games.
Brought a couple games. What's it? Is there a downside to bringing games to a show like this?
Oh man, that's a nice thread on Pinside, isn't it? You know, I guess it just depends what's the downside. You know, is it inconvenient? Sure. You know, is it a hassle to load a game? Yes. Is it a hassle to pack up a game? Yes. But man, it's like, it's for the greater good. You know, the show's not possible without everyone bringing their games and exhibiting the games. And whether you're a little part of that or a big part of that, as long as you're contributing, I think you take a little bit of a sense of ownership in promoting the hobby and pushing the hobby. So the downside is that it's inconvenient and a potential for a little bit of extra wear and tear on your game, I think. But the upside is that you're a part of the blood that's pushing through the heart of this resurgence that's going on in our hobby. And for as much participation as you could have in that, you're helping out. So you get a sense of that you're helping when you bring the games, you know?
Absolutely. You know, you said this show's huge and it's bigger. It is really packed, isn't it? There's a lot of great games here. People seem to be flowing in on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, this is the busiest day. So it was open yesterday and it was sort of like a mild day. So now we're Saturday, we're literally like in the middle of it right now. So a lot of the general public, a lot of the marketing that Ed and his team have done to get people here. So you're seeing a lot of people who just don't own pinball machines. This is where a lot of families are coming in that have seen the stuff that they've done on the news. You know, a lot of local media's covered this and talked about the pinball festival. So people are in here who wouldn't otherwise be in here right now, and it's kind of a crazy situation.
What have you seen so far at the show that has struck your interest, or you had thoughts on? Any of the new games? Any of the? Well,
you know, Big Lebowski and The Hobbit, which are making a lot of waves here. Those are games that I saw at Expo in 2014.
Yep.
So I'm not so excited about those games since I've already seen them, but it is exciting to see other people seeing them for the first time. So I like seeing, The Hobbit's got a line, 25, 30 people deep sometimes because they've never seen such a thing. And it's so cool to see the Big Lebowski here, despite all the drama that they've gone through. That thing was like almost dead, I thought, and then no, it isn't, and then now it's here and it's great and it's exhibiting at this show, and so it's exciting to see those. There's a guy here that's got a Sideshow Collectibles T800. It's a robot.
The Terminator.
Yeah,
robot.
It's not a game, but that's an $8,000 statue.
Yeah.
That is amazing, and he has it right next to a Terminator 2, which is just perfect.
It's very cool. That is neat. And we're sitting right in front of a DeLorean, like a real DMC DeLorean.
Yeah, there's an actual DeLorean, and of course next to it is Back to the Future. It's an uncommon Data East title. There's a guy over here that made a Dragon's Lair arcade out of a 50-inch plasma television.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about arcade. No,
oh, sorry. Well,
I'm kidding.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And of course the clear game up at the front. The guy,
beautiful, isn't that?
It's stupid. I mean, it's like a science project. It's like something you see the Smithsonian, because it's electromechanical. So there's so many moving parts, and you could be just as fascinated looking at how the game works as you could playing the game.
So you've been to some other shows.
Yeah.
Where does Texas rank?
Personal opinion?
And I know this is your home show.
Yeah.
It's a loaded question.
So yeah, it's a loaded question because I'm from Dallas and I live here. I think it depends on what your priorities are as someone in the hobby. So for me personally, I'm going to go ahead and say that Texas Pinball Festival is number one. Yep. I think that I could rate it number one, and here's why. A show like Allentown is hardcore in playing.
Yep.
A show like Houston is even not even only hardcore in playing, but they're like hardcore in partying. They have the lights are low, there's a DJ, there's music going. A show like Expo, you can't even play till 5 o'clock. But you have everyone in the industry, all the latest and greatest news, all the cutting edge releases, and the seminars and the talks there are vastly superior to any other show. But here at TPF, you have the music element, you have the all-day play element, you have a huge selection of games, but plus you also have seminars, and most of the industry leaders are here talking
anyways. Certainly more so than before, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
We're seeing a push to this show.
So no, it's not an Expo level. but I mean, it's up there. It's right. It's right there. And the cool thing is, if you're interested in that, that's here for you. But if you want to get up at 8 o'clock and play games for 14 hours straight, that's here for you too.
Absolutely.
So I like that TPF has sort of found its way in the middle of the spectrum between, like, for just players, tournament players, and the tournament's ridiculous, by the way. I'm not a tournament player, but I mean, you see the trophies and the amount of games, and they're exclusive games. You can't play them unless you're in the tournament.
Yeah.
It's just awesome, the level of attention and detail that they put into everything. So I'm going to go ahead and say that TPF's number one, and if you don't believe it, it's only because you hadn't been here. It's easy to sit at home on your computer and say, no, it's not, but I'm deliberately taking pictures and video this weekend to let everyone see.
Your Pinside thread, your photos is beautiful. You got a lot of good photos.
I want people to see, like, this is a big deal. And it's hard to visualize if you hadn't seen it, but oh my God, it's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and rate TPF number one. That's my Jared vote.
Very good. Well, Jared, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate your energy and your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we'll talk again.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you. I appreciate it.
That was a lot of fun. I want to thank those gentlemen for joining me on the show. Good times had by all. I can't wait until next year already. Am I really thinking about that? You know what it does? It makes me, because I'm going to go to the Midwest Gaming Classic in like a week and a half. And it's just got me so amped up for that, because that's another great show. So I'm looking forward to that. We got more shows this week. We got more going on. We'll get to your emails here eventually. Play some pinball, for crying out loud. Play pinball. Find your local league. Find your theater that has a game in it. Buy a game. Do something. Play some pinball, for crying out loud. I appreciate you guys listening. We'll talk to you again real soon. Take care.
See you later, alligator.